So here we have the lumber that we cut up yesterday, and we were throwing around the terms 1x2, 1x4, 1x5, and that might be a bit confusing, so let's take our tape measure and measure the exact dimensions of the material that we're going to be dealing with. So if we take our tape measure out, measure the 1x2, we see that it's 3/4 of an inch thick and 1.5 inches wide. Similarly, if we take the 1x4, again, it's 3/4 of an inch thick and 3.5 inches wide. And the 1x5, 3/4 of an inch thick and 4.5 inches wide. Which means that we're going to have to take that difference into account. In other words, the thickness of the material is 1/4 of an inch less, and the width of the material is 1/2 an inch less. And we took that into account yesterday when we measured the length of our end piece at 22.5 inches. You will recall that for one of the side pieces we subtracted 3/4 of an inch, and for the other side we also subtracted 3/4 of an inch. So we're going to have to take that into account for this triangle. He's going to blow the horn again. That's an eastbound train, and we got a westbound train. They're going to meet at the passing siding just up the road. You'll have to film one of those passings for you one of these days. Ever onwards and upwards, our next step is to mark the in, out, top, and bottom of each piece of wood. So here's the bits and pieces that we cut yesterday. 2 pieces on each side, 4 feet long, the side pieces, 2 pieces at each end, the end piece, and in the middle we have a middle cross member. We're now going to add an extra piece that's called a gusset. So we've added a gusset to each corner. What's a gusset, you say? A gusset is simply a plate, in this case a piece of triangle shaped wood, that is going to add strength to each of those corners. Let's just assemble things to show you what it might look like when we start the assembly process. This gives you an idea of how the bits and pieces are going to be assembled. But before we start the installation, we're going to have to mark each piece as being inside or outside, top or bottom. A bit of an explanation of what a gusset is and how we go about fabricating the gussets. A gusset is simply a piece of 1x4 chopped up at 45-degree angles. The first piece that we cut gets discarded, and we just simply flip the piece over as we cut off each of the pieces of wood. We've turned the gussets over so that you can see the other side. And these are gussets that I prefabbed about 6 months ago. I'd always like to keep a supply of them on hand, as you can see with the bunch that we've got in the back row. Once we've got the gusset chopped up, it measures 7 inches on the hypotenuse and 5 inches on each side. And you can see that right in here we have a T-nut installed. The T-nut has been located in this gusset, but if we were to start all over again, we would take our T-square, put it at the 90-degree angle, draw a line across, split the difference in half, drill a 1/8 inch pilot hole, take our Forstner bit, recess it a bit, and then drill the hole out 3/8 of an inch and epoxy the T-nut in place. We'll get into the details of installing T-nuts in another edition. The next step in our fabrication process is to take a look at each piece of wood and determine which edges and sides are going to be in or out, top or bottom. Now, if we take a look at this piece here, we see that we've got somewhere the bark was, and It's been clobbered a bit with the mill, so this is going to be in. Rough stuff is going to be in, and we want this on the top because we can fix that up, and so therefore the other side will be out, and this will be bottom. Make sure that you clearly mark in, out, top, and bottom, because when you're in the midst of gluing stuff, you don't have that much time to think, and you may glue things the wrong way. Let's go on with our next piece here, and in this case we've got the knot. That's okay, but the knot has been gouged out, so this side is going to be in, the other side is going to be out, and we've got a little bit of a marking here, a little bit of a depression, so this is going to be top, and the other end will be bottom. And we're going to carry on with the other pieces that we have. So here we have our wood has all been nicely marked, top, bottom, in and out. Imperfections in and on the top. And if there's a curve, particularly on the long pieces, we want the curve curving in, because we can push that out with the middle cross member. And the imperfections, we are going to be able to hide them up and when we insert the styrofoam. Next step is coming up.